Hey guys, it's me, Mario. Today, we're going to continue Beast Quest, Arachnid, the giant spider. Chapter 4, A Long Way Down. Gotta drink a little bit. How you guys doing today? Hope you're doing good. Tom examined the crystal as Storm blew softly over his shoulder. It was certainly pretty, reminding him of a sapphire. That's not protection, Elena snorted, slinging the saddlebags over Storm's back. That's jewelry. As he put the crystal in his pocket and gave Elena a leg up onto Storm. Tom had to agree with her. He had more faith in his shield and armor than in a shiny piece of blue glass. The candles and the red glow from the map lit their way out of the town. Thick silver webs were draped everywhere. Several underweary rats and mice struggled, caught in the silken tangles. Tom tried not to think about the size of the spider that had spun them. The road out of town was straight and well surfaced. But as they approached the bottom of the mountain, it began to change. Soon, even Tom was struggling in his magical leg armor, and Storm lost his footing several times in loose shingle. Tom shifted his shield onto his back and used his hands to steady himself. Skirting bundles puddles that gleamed in the moonlight. The sky was getting lighter. Sunrise wasn't far away. The road dwindled to a track, growing steeper with every passing minute. Tom was glad of the golden helmet. He could see the dangers underfoot, as well as the mountain track that twisted ahead of them. They reached a rocky outcrop, marked on the map just as the sun broke over the horizon. This must be where Ida entered the caves, said Elena, stooping down and peering into the dark hole in the mountainside. I can see the rocks blocking the way. She shuddered. How terrible to be trapped down there. The map is showing us the other entrance, said Tom, pointing at the glowing red line. They looked up the mountainside to where the path snaked out of sight. It is the only way, Elena said in dismay. Dorina had warned them the path was dangerous, but it looked impossibly narrow, and to the right was a sheer drop. We'll be fine, Tom said. Storm tossed his head nervously under Undeterred. Undeterred, Tom took the stallion's reins and led him forwards. Elena hung back. "Tom," she said in a choked voice. I can't do this." Silver nuzzled Elena's hand comfortingly. "You and I have fought 10 beasts," said Tom. "You can walk this path, Elena. Trust me." Hesitantly, Elena began to follow her friend. They reached the point where the path wrapped itself around the edge of the mountain. There was no turning back now. "It's a long way down," Elena said, looking over the edge. There was barely room for one person to pass, and in places the path had crumbled away. "You go first. Keep your back to the mountain," Tom instructed. "You can lean into it and use it as a support." They took turns to move down the path. Elena slid along with her back to the mountain, looking straight ahead, Silver picking his way behind her, as sure-footed as ever. Seizing Storm's reins, Tom clicked his tongue. "Come on, boy," he said. "We can do this." Tom inched along the path, leading Storm and trying not to look down. But he felt the path disintegrating stone. Blah. But he felt the path disintegrating. Stones bounced away and disappeared over the edge of the mountain. He moved a little faster. More stones fell. "The path is collapsing. Run, Tom!" Elena shouted in front of him. Tom ran. Storm whined in terror, racing close behind him. Stumbling and slipping, Tom could feel the path crumbling behind them. Could they make it before the path fell away completely? Tom's feet suddenly met air. His heart crashed in his chest as he grabbed at the mountainside. But the stones came away in his fist. There was nothing he could do. He was going to fall. Instinctively, he let go of Storm's reins. He could hear Elena scream as he plunged over the edge. Then her voice was snatched away in the wind. The mountainside was racing past in a blur. Tom wrestled with the shield strapped to his back and pulled it over his head. The magical eagle feather that was set into his shield protected him from falling. At once he could feel himself slowing. He angled the shield so that he could float close enough to the mountainside to find something to hold on to and stop his fall. At last his hand clasped around a spur of rock. Tom closed his eyes. Thank goodness, he thought. Opening them again, he looked up at the path overhead. It was a stiff climb, but it was a stiff climb back to the others. Steadying himself with his feet, He flung his shield back over his shoulder and began to make his way upwards. The golden breastplate pulsed strength into his chest and his legs, helping him climb. Elena was waiting for him, tense and white-faced. She helped Tom to pull himself over the edge and back into solid ground, where he collapsed into a patch of scrubby grass. "I thought you gone forever," Elena burst out when Tom had got his breath back. "You can't lose me that easily," Tom said with a smile. Elena laughed in relief. Then she looked more serious. "There's no way back," she said. "I pulled the storm across just in time. The path has completely disappeared." It was true. Where the path had been was now a yawning chasm. "We'll worry about that after we've defeated Arachnid," Tom said. He thought about the golden gauntlets. Would the spider be guarding them in his web? Tom shivered, but he knew he couldn't lose heart. Only by winning all 6 pieces of the armor could he and Elena save Eldru from Malvo's evil clutches. It was now or never. The beast was waiting. And that was chapter 4. This was my first book that I've ever read of Beast Quest. And it's so good. It's so good. Man, it's good. Oh my god. It's so good. But yeah. That was this chapter. What was this chapter called again? I have to check. Hold on a sec. A Long Way Down. Yeah, A Long Way Down. So that was chapter 5, A Long Way Down. Hope you enjoyed my read through that chapter. And I hope to see you next Tuesday. Next week's Tuesday and Thursday. Oh my god. My goodness. Well, I hope you guys like and subscribe if you want to. Beast Quest is just crazy. Yeah. After this book, there was one more. And I hope you will join me for that as well. The Three-Headed Lion, I think it's called. There's a little picture of all the other books of the series. I can barely read that, but I have the full series over there, but you know, I can't just get it now, you know. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed my read through Beast Quest, and I hope I will see you next week, I think. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I think it's Thursday today. Alright, I will see you next week on Tuesday. Right. Bye-bye.